So the only time I log in to Facebook is to upload something to my secret albums. And by secret albums is, say, memes or random pictures of things that I take. Or it could be like personal pictures. Like, say, sometimes I take like 30 selfies when I'm trying something new with my hair, whatever. But occasionally, there is a top story that I cannot help but notice because it's the top story. It's the first thing that I see on my homepage on Facebook. And recently, I saw a picture of someone who got their house, their first house, and they are exactly my age, for we went to school together. This person is like some 4 months older than me. I'm thinking, all right, that's cool, that's nice, that's great, congrats. But then when I thought about it critically, I'm thinking, it feels so awkward though to congratulate someone who was already well off because you're from a well-off family. So therefore, you have to be really trying to mess up in life to not do well if you're the descendant of a family that is well off. They have been involved in your life. So well-off people involved in people's lives, especially when you're family, that ought to guarantee that you're well off as well. And I couldn't help but think about other families where you are encouraged to start from rock bottom because, say, this relative of yours who is encouraging you to start from rock bottom and like build your way up, it's like, well, I did it, I was able to do it, so therefore you can as well. But as I have mentioned before in the channel, they don't consider things like, motherfucker, your opportunities were different, your time was different, the circumstances of your life were different. Why is it that it seems to be something that recurs in primarily non-white families, like say brown families and stuff, where that kind of bullshit happens? Because I find that the people who I see mostly well off, who already have houses in their 20s and stuff, and you know that these people aren't in debt, they happen to be white people who were well off. But if you think about what made them be well off, is because these people had their families support them every step of the way. Because I remember this kid. I remember that his parents were involved, not one parent, both parents. The family was always involved. They had like community stuff going on. They had their own fundraisers going on, things like that. Why is it that brown people have to be the ones who, not only are we not well off very often, but those that do end up being well off encourage others to do so alone, even though they themselves did not get there alone, especially during times when you had more options. I just I can't help but think about how broken our families are, and I swear it is fueled, promoted, and proliferated that we remain that way. So it's not like I'm making a video here trying to hate on the white man, right? Like, not at all. I just want you to understand what I observe that happens in different communities. And I also find that the Asian community seems to be doing pretty well as well. Like, most of the ones who I have met, they are doing okay for themselves, pretty wealthy or on their way to be wealthy. And it makes sense. It's not like they move out here to end up working at like McDonald's and stuff. But what made them well off? Support. So why is it that, say, other communities, it's usually something like that? It's like, no, you have to establish yourself because it's important that you do it, because otherwise you won't feel like it was worth it or something. And I'm like, I mean, I understand the pride that you can get out of achieving things on your own, because shit, look at me. Like, the little stuff that I have, it's definitely because I have been alone, and the only thing that I have not been alone at has been sharing a residence with my mom. And honestly, we are mutually helping each other. It's like I'm helping her to make money because she doesn't have strong finances herself, and she's also helping me because, trust me, splitting a rent is one of the best things that you can do for yourself if you're not in a good position financially. I'm certain that these rich kids, when they went to college, they didn't have to worry about having a job on the side. They were able to focus on moving into whatever city their college was at, and they would get financial support, and they didn't have to be working part-time, possibly full-time, to be able to pay for stuff. So I'm thinking, why can't we do that more often? As opposed to, nah, my child has to figure everything out on their own. And then we hit a certain age where you're asking us why we're not married, why we're not buying houses, why we're not buying cars, so on and so forth. And to that, I have to say, just go fuck yourself and look in the mirror. You made some bad choices, all out of pride, possibly, because you were counting down for your child to turn 18 to be like, okay, get out of the nest. So if we're not bringing prestige and honor to your fucking name, maybe start considering where you went wrong as a goddamn parent. Alright guys, that's pretty much it from me. I thought I would share those thoughts. Let me know if you have observed the same thing I have observed. If you agree, if you disagree, please disagree, because I want to hear what you have to say about that. And maybe it also helps me in my mind begin to repair some of the social challenges that I have, especially my opinion toward family, because my family, you guys know that it sucks, and I don't really regret my circumstances, but it just frustrates me when I hear people talking shit. And on top of that, when I notice things like this, like say online in social media, I'm thinking, wow, if only my family had their shit together, that could have been our lives. Not just my life, but our lives. And you guys know that I'm not in love with material things, but I certainly am craving and yearning, just like anybody else, to have strong finances. So when I notice people from like middle school, when I met some of these people, I knew that they would do well way before I could even begin to experience a little bit of stability. I'm thinking it's wonderful to have a functional family, and they definitely do not have to worry about some of the dramas that I'm worrying about. Like, most of these kids still have their parents married, and the ones who don't have both parents is because one of them passed on or something extreme happened. But most of these people have their families still together. So come on, why are we allowing our communities to continue to be broken? All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.